Guys, amazing job. You guys all kick ass. It's such a badass movie.
Thank you.
Sionis is the major villain here. How do you guys all play into his world? How are you connected to his world?
I work at his club. I'm like really in the center of his corruption, and I'm kind of like his Buddha, his muse. He, seeks calm in me, and but he was one of the only people who has helped me in my life, since my mother passed away. So there's this strange loyalty to him that I have in spite of his corruption.
And Rosie, you play the great Jurnee Montoya.
Yeah.
So how do you connect to his world?
I want to get him. I know that he's guilty. I know he's behind a lot of the corruption. Nobody believes me, of course, in the patriarchal structure of Gotham PD. But I'm on a mission, and I'm going to get him. That's how I feel. So.
And the Huntress.
The Huntress is going after one of his goons, basically. One of his men is on my hit list. Is my ultimate sort of the finish to my revenge plot. And once, well, I don't want to give it away, but once I meet up with these ladies, Jurnee Montoya sort of turns me on to the idea that Roman Sionis has been the puppet master all along, and then he becomes on my hit list as well.
I love your character, by the way that because it's a lot different than the comics, but it works so well in this film. Now, the question I have is, you were also in Sky High, and in 2020, that's 2005, I believe, and then 2020, obviously, Birds of Prey. How has the superhero genre changed since you've seen it?
Gosh, Sky High kind of came out before this genre exploded, so it was a bit smaller scale, Nobody was really talking about it quite as much, and especially the sort of comedic tone of a superhero film, so I love it. I think it has a little bit of a cult following now, and now it kind of fits into the world that everybody's kind of into, and I think Birds of Prey is in a similar tone, but like the hard R, adult, violent version, so I love it. I love that movie, and I love this one.
Now, Jurnee, your character, the Black Canary, has such a great legacy in the comics and on other forms of media. You have this kind of world-weary, but still kind of heart of the movie eyes to you. Can you talk to me about the balancing act in portraying the character?
Yeah, it definitely was a balancing act because Dinah Lance is so iconic in the comics, and in our film, we definitely wanted to capture the essence of Dinah Lance in the comics, but it's an origin story, so she hasn't yet grown into her full potential of owning her power, the power we know her to have in the comics. So it was great for me as an actor to play that contradiction of someone who's literally working for the most corrupt man in Gotham, and yet she is all heart, and she's really going against her nature when we meet her in the film, because we know her to be this compassionate, upstanding woman who's this ferocious street fighter and a vigilante, but because she lost her mother to crime fighting, she really wants nothing to do with it. And it was great to explore this idea that someone could be so capable of such power and potential, and yet they're in their own way.
Right. Now, Rosie, Jurnee Montoya, she is really the most grounded out of all the characters in the film. Can you talk to me about the approach and the research that went into Jurnee Montoya's character?
I researched it extensively. I've always was a nerd and a comic book fan anyway, so I kind of knew a lot about her. But when I dove deeper into her, I realized she's carrying a lot of pain from her childhood, and she's carrying a lot of pain of always being underestimated and then being outed, being passed over. And so it's, she's a highly flawed character, and I love that because she also has the highest moral code out of everyone.
Right.
And so, allowing the flaws to be there without judgment is the way I approached Jurnee, because I could relate to that. And I know a lot of women could relate to it as well, especially women of a certain age, of my age. I brought that to the table as well. Being in this business over 30 plus years, I've seen the changes, and we're getting a lot more power lately, and that's a fantastic thing. So this is a very timely piece.